Mobilized Russians have protested at the training grounds in the Republic of Chuvashia, Russia. The men were indignant that they did not receive the payments that government promised to everyone who was called to fight in Ukraine. I came to the military enlistment office and told them about payment, as the military commissar had explained to me that as soon as I arrived there, within 2 or 3 days I would get a one-time payment in the amount of 300,000 rubles. But in fact, it turned out they would not receive money.
Guys, you should understand one thing. I did not promise you 300,000.
In recent days, there have been reports of a large number of casualties in the ranks of the Russian military. There are mobilized men from the Voronezh region among them. The Russian authorities are forced to react to these statements, but they do not confirm the information about heavy losses.
How can it be a fake if my son, who is there, told me about it? Nobody wants to hear the truth. How can it be fake when a child called me at 9 o'clock in the morning and shouted into the phone, "Mom, help me"? He had never complained about anything before, but there was a despair and fear in his voice. Natalia, mother of a Russian mobilized, in an interview with the Verstka publication.
Roman Andryushenko, a 44-year-old resident of Sakhalin, immediately died of a stroke after arriving at the front line. Many residents of the village told Sibir Realii that those mobilized in Ozerskaya village on Sakhalin region in Russia did not pass even medical examination. In Rostov, they told us we were going to Donetsk. They told us to take the SIM cards out of the phones, and that's it, we were going. We drove for 8 hours, arrived in the morning. No one understood anything, we were standing in the same forest. We got out of the KAMAZ trucks, and they quickly drove away. All the officers and commanders were gone. We managed there on our own, did what we wanted, settled in tents. Right there, one guy immediately died. Either a blood clot came off, or he had a stroke. He died. From the voice message of the residents of Ozerskaya village in the Sakhalin region of Russia, provided by the Sibir Realii. Only women remained in the Karpukhin family from the Kaliningrad region. 3 men went to the war as contract soldiers. The son was mobilized. One son-in-law has already been killed. The second is wounded, and there is no connection with the mobilized son.
On October the 6th, our men went to Belgorod. My son called us several times, warned that they were going somewhere into the forest and there would be no connection. But now we can't reach him. The only thing I know is that they went somewhere in the direction of Kharkiv. Sometimes he called us back, but we haven't heard of him for 2 weeks. Tatiana Karpukhina, mother of a mobilized, in an interview with Sever Realii.
The commanders bring servicemen to the territory of Ukraine, put them in positions, and they just leave them to the mercy of fate. This is how the actions of Russian commanders are increasingly told by their subordinates, Russian mobilized men. Then these groups of freshly mobilized men, without understanding where they should go, where they can get some supplies, where they can get food, they don't understand what to do, and therefore they actually die, even on their own mines. Or they just become an easy target for the armed forces of Ukraine. This situation is indeed very common. There are so many of them that commanders and officers simply do not count their amount. And so, one by one, the Putin regime turns mobilized Russians into a unit of statistics of war casualties. Reported by Pavlo Shtelmach, Natalia Husak, UATV News.